What is up, chat? What's up? Hey, Sabo Cat. You're meditating on women's corpses until this starts? Good job. You gotta curb your desires there. What's up, Wing Chun? How's it going? Hey, Greek yogurt, Tiger Claw, Delita. I don't know what that is. What's up, Casey? Nice of you to join. Hey, Bigfoot. Glad you're here. What's up, Hope? Hey, Katie. Glad you could join. Hey, Nikki. Good evening. What's up, Mealy? Yo, it's so hot today. It's 102 outside. Okay. 102. Yeah. Good thing inside is like 80 degrees or 81 degrees. The wonders of insulation. What's up, Teresa? No, you're cool. Hey, Malik. What's up, Raymundo? You're dying in this heat? How hot is it? Good day for boba. Oh, I've had too much boba. I need to cut down. I need to cut down this week. What's up, Luna Moon? Hey, Afchi. All right. Do I live in the USA? I live in California. It's super hot right now. 102 outside. Not cool. It's 104 where you live? Oh my god. Where do you live? In hell? There's no such thing as too much boba. If you drink as much as I do. Well, okay, I used to drink a lot more boba. Nowadays, I drink like probably once a week. Yeah, I used to drink like at my peak. I used to drink once a day, sometimes even more. I would go to work and at lunch go get a boba tea. Oh, so good. I don't think I can do that anymore. It's not good. Yeah. So what I've been doing is I've been getting better. Okay, so I used to drink like 100% sweet, but now I've cut it down. Okay, I cut it down. I started to cut it down to 75% sugar, and then 50% sugar. Okay, and now I'm trying out 25% sugar. Okay, one of these days we'll get to 0% sugar, and it should taste good. It should taste fine. It's easier than you think. Like if you cut it down to 50%, after a while it tastes the same. Kind of. Yeah, after a while it tastes pretty much the same as 100%. So which is good. So I've gotten used to 50%. They're so expensive though. True. Stuart Meatball, what's up? Hey Scotland, how's it going? Tea without sugar still tastes great. Well, yeah, I drink tea without sugar, but then milk tea with boba, it's different, right? You need a little bit of sugar, but maybe not. One of these days we'll get to 0% sugar, and we'll see how it goes. All right. Well, if you do 0% sugar, the boba is usually still sweet, right? So there's still some sugar. So maybe, yeah. So like if I do that, I'll still have some sugar with the boba, and I hope that will sustain me. How do I know all the information for the videos? Well, I do research. Yeah. If you look in the description of the videos, you can see the sources that I use for each video. What is boba made out of? It's tapioca, no? What is boba made of? Okay, I'm not a robot. Oh god. Okay. All right, that's a bicycle. Oh no, you saw my IP. But you don't. Because I have a VPN. So boba pearls are made of tapioca starch. There you go. Comes from the cassava root. What the hell is this? Does boba have pig in it? Tapioca is the starch that comes with compassionate boba addicts can rest assured that gelatin is usually not used in the making of bubble tea. Okay. Thank you, Peter. Okay, yeah. Then for me, cooking boba, it's very easy. If you get, you can buy like the on Amazon. You can buy the 5-minute boba pearls. Yeah, you just drop it in boiling water for like 5 minutes, and it comes out great. Okay, can we do this? All right, get started. Okay, it's 6:07, right? We'll finish this in 2 minutes. Ooh, good start. Good start. Wrote. Rotes. That's not a word, right? Rotten. How about troll? Tron. Trone? Tone. Toner. Toner. Oh, the E is not the right one. But let's try that anyways. Okay, not toner. Re. Reton. Nope. Re. Or T. So T should be ert. Something OT. Resot. Rebot. Relot. Recot. Rehot. Regot. Redot. No, that doesn't sound right. Retone. Or ETOR. Leador, Weedor, Dedor, Fedor, Gidor, Gidor, Hedor, Bedor, Detour. Not doing it for me. Uh-oh. Wait, what is it? Vote. Oh, wait. Voter. Nope, not even right. What we got? We got 4 letters. Why can't I do this? I keep doing the same words. All right, let's change it up. Otter. Oreos. Otter. Wait, otter. Oh no. Fuck. Ort. What is this word? ERT. T. Arrow. Arrow. Root. X T O T R O. Oh. Extro. Or RTO? Ebtro. Evtro. Ectro. Eftro. Edtro. No, that's stupid. Other? Other? No. ERTRO. Extro. Is that a word? No, that is not a word. Extro. Extort. Extort. What is it? It's gonna be a super simple word, isn't it? Oh god. Maybe it starts with an R. ERET. Retro. RET. Retro? Oh! Damn. Did anyone guess? Oh, you did. Okay. Good job. Good job, John. Okay, that took a while. Took a while. Took a while. Why is my channel name Linfamy? It's my name, Lin, and then infamy. Lin plus infamy. Linfamy. Hey, thanks, School Whip. That's nice of you to say. Okay, let's do a geography lesson. All right. Last time we got what? 80%? 80 something percent? Let's do 90%. Okay. I think I'm getting really good at this. I'm almost learning the entirety of Europe. So Moldova is here. Lithuania. It's one of these, isn't it? I think this is Estonia. This is Lithuania. Fuck. Okay, it's one of these. All right, we're shooting for 90%. 90%. Romania is this one. San Marino is this one. Albania. Oh god, it's one of these. I think this is Kosovo. So this must be Albania. Nice. Monaco. Where is that? Is that this? No. Is that this? Okay. Okay. Switzerland. Croatia is this weird looking one. Montenegro. Hey, we're doing pretty good. Montenegro. It's one of these, isn't it? Oh, let's go. Slovakia. I think it's one of these. Okay. Luxembourg. Wait, this is Luxembourg. UK. Cyprus. Malta is this. Okay, we're doing pretty good. France. Ireland. Denmark. Ukraine. Germany. Vatican. Belgium. Estonia? No, this is Latvia. This is Estonia, right? Okay, good. Finland, Norway, Liechtenstein. Oh fuck. Czech is either this one or this one. Okay, good. Latvia is this one. Portugal. Okay, I think this is yep. Russia, Bulgaria is Oh God, is it this one? Nice. Okay, I think that's this. Kosovo is this one. Austria, gotta be this. No, Poland, sweet. Oh. Are we getting 100%? No, we can't. We lost this one. Fuck. Serbia is gotta be this. Italy, Greece, Slovenia. Fuck. Slovenia, Hungary, Belarus. Oh, damn. 96. 96. Okay. Not bad. Okay. So what do we miss? I already forgot these. Okay. All right. Next week, 100%. 100%. All right. I think we can do it. It's like, it's these that I have problem with and these. This one. So this should be Estonia and this is Latvia, right? And what is this? All right, guys. It will come down to muscle memory. Is it muscle memory? No, it's actual memory, isn't it? Okay. Let's eat this before we start. So this is plum kelp, it says. It sounds pretty good. Lithuania? Oh, so this is Lithuania. The bottom one? Okay. Good. Okay, this is a cracker. Oof. It looks like a rice cracker. Oh shit. Hella good. It's rice cracker, a little salty. I guess it is plum kelp. I don't recognize the plum. I just recognize like some saltiness. Pretty good. I'm gonna give this an 8. Yeah, if it was a little bit more salty, it would be a 9. All right. What happened last week? All right. Okay, so this recap's gonna be a little bit long because a lot happened last chapter. Last week, our hero Xiao Fang, he meets his master in the Shaolin Temple. Right, his master is this monk, who's in the Shaolin Temple. When he sees his master recognizes him. His master stands up, and then his master just dies. Right, out of nowhere, he just dies standing up, I believe. And Xiao Feng sees this, and he's super sad and stuff. He calls out the news to everyone, and the other monks arrive. So he snuck into the Shaolin Temple, right? But now he has to make himself known because his master just died. So he shouts out the news to everyone. The other monks come and they see that the dude is dead, and the abbot of the Shaolin Temple, he says that his master had sustained a powerful palm strike. Okay, and he has been using his chi to hang on to his life by a thread. Okay, so his master was already on his last legs, and the guy has just been using his chi to stay alive. But he was attacked before already. And then this young monk, all of a sudden, he sees Xiao Feng, and he accuses him of murder. And he says that he saw Xiao Feng attack his master. and which is weird because we know that Qiao Feng didn't do that. The other monks immediately turn against him, and then Qiao Feng runs away and he hides. Now, so we think that, hey, it seems like someone was disguised as Qiao Feng to do the killing. Okay? So Qiao Feng is hiding behind a Buddha statue, and he hears a few monks enter the room. One of the monks, whose name is Juqing, he knocks all of the other. One of the monks knocks all of the other monks unconscious, and he steals a sutra from this secret compartment in the room. Now, then afterwards, more people arrive, and this monk who just stole something, Qing, he tries to hide at the exact spot where Qiao Feng is hiding at, and so Qiao Feng captures the monk, and he tells him, "Hey, don't move. Okay, just stay quiet." So afterwards, the elders of the Shaolin Temple they arrive, and they arrive with this monk named Qing, okay, who looks exactly like the monk that Qiao Feng just captured. So it turns out that Qiao Feng, the guy Qiao Feng captured, was not a real monk, but it seems to be someone in disguise. Now, among the monks, there is some confusion because the unconscious monks, they wake up and they accuse the real Ziqing of attacking them. But then the elder monks, they quickly figure out that, hey, there's some disguise expert in the temple causing confusion. They dismiss the underlings, and then they suddenly attack Qiao Feng. Okay, these monks are not dumb. They sensed him hiding in the back, or they saw him through a mirror or something. They attack Qiao Feng. Qiao Feng runs away, dragging this disguised monk with him. But on the way out, the abbot does a palm strike or something. Then it hits this disguised monk with the palm strike. But then they escape. So outside, we find out that this disguised monk is actually Aju. Okay, and she's super injured. She's not doing well. And Qiao Feng feels responsible, so he prevents her from dying. Okay, without him, she would have died already. He prevents her from dying by constantly like rejuvenating her using his qi energy, right? So he's doing that, and he's keeping her alive. He's trying to find a doctor, but he can't find a doctor. Or maybe he did find a doctor, and the doctor was like, "Hey, I can't do anything." Yeah, I think that's what happened. So he found a doctor, and the doctor was like, "No, we can't do anything for her." So he's constantly keeping her alive using his qi. One day, Aju is there. She asks him to tell her a story, and then he tells her this story. That's obviously a story about him as a kid. Okay, so he's telling us this story, and it's about him as a kid. So when he was young, so the story goes, when he was young, his dad was sick, and his mom sells their chickens, and like she sold their chickens and eggs for some money, and then his mom and him, they go to a doctor in town, right? To get him to help. Now there's this one doctor in town, and he refused to help because they live too far away. The doctor didn't want to go deep into the mountains to visit his patient. So he's like, no, he refuses. The doctor knocks his mom over and tells her to leave. Right? He told her to leave. So they can't do anything. So as they went home, this kid decides to steal a knife from a shop. And at home, he starts sharpening it. He started sharpening it at home. Now, mom realized that when mom got home, she realized that her money was gone. The money that she used to, the money that she got when she sold the chicken and eggs, she found out that her money was gone. And she accused the kid of stealing the money to buy the knife. Now, mom wasn't mad, but she wanted him to give her the rest of the money to go buy food for the sick dad. And the kid kept saying, "Oh, I didn't take the money. I didn't take the money." Okay, so mom just let it go. Right? Mom didn't try to do anything. That night, the kid snuck out to the doctor's place and uses the knife to stab him and kill him. Right, so the kid killed the doctor, and that was the story. Now, Aju, hearing Qiao Feng say this, she was like, "Oh, this kid is so cruel," and she called him a Khitan kid. Okay, remember, the Khitans were enemies of the Song Chinese, so they hate the Khitans. So she called him a violent Khitan kid. Now, when she says this, Qiao Feng is shocked. Qiao Feng is like, is very shocked. And Aju immediately understands that, oh my God, the story was about him all along. She apologizes. She says that, oh no, she doesn't believe the rumor that's going around that Qiao Feng is a Khitan man. Okay, because Khitans are very, very like bad, evil, violent people. Which is probably not the right thing to say. He asked her, what if I am a Khitan? Would you still be okay with me taking care of you right now? And instead of saying yes, it would be fine, Aju just says that, hey, no, there's no way. I don't believe it. I don't believe that you're a Khitan. Which is also also a wrong thing to say. So this makes Qiao Feng miserable because he's thinking, hey, if I am a Khitan person, even this no-name servant girl would hate me. So I have no place in this world. All right, so that's what he's thinking. And that's it. That's how the last chapter ended. How's that? She is awful but lovely at the same time. Qiao Feng does sound like Qiao Feng. True. All right. Hold on. There you go. Big font. Is it big enough for you? Gigantic. Tell me if the font is too big. All right, we got all right. Chapter 19. Even in the face of tens of thousands of people, I will carry on. It could go down one size. Oh, but now it's like here. Okay, whatever. All right, looks like we have a different translator. Thank God. I hated the previous one. He used words that were way too big. Hopefully this one doesn't do that. Qiao Feng channeled his internal energy for a long time. Suddenly, he heard two soft g sounds. So he's doing his internal energy rejuvenation technique on Aju. Suddenly, he heard two soft g sounds high above in the northwest corner. He knew that there was a person in Wulin walking on the roof. After that, there were also two sounds up in the southeast corner. When hearing the sounds in the northwest, Qiao Feng still had not paid any attention to them. But when there were two people gathering together like this, he knew it was likely they had come because of him. He lowered his voice and said to Aju, I will go out for a while, and I will come back immediately. Don't be afraid. Aju nodded. Qiao Feng did not blow out the candle. As the door of the room was half closed, he turned his body sideways and went out. He then went around to the window at the backyard and stood next to the wall. He only heard someone say in a room in the east of the inn, Is that 8th Master Xiang? Please come down. The man on the northwest corner laughed and said, Qi, the 6th of Guanxi, has also arrived. The man in the room said, Very good, very good. Please come in together. Two people jumped down from the roof in succession and walked into the room. Qiao Feng thought, Qi, the 6th of Guanxi, is also called Fast Saber Qi Liu. He's a famous, brave man in Guanxi. That 8th Master Xiang is most probably Xiang Wanghai of Xiangdong. I've heard that these people are generous in aiding the needy, and their martial arts are remarkable. These two people aren't the treacherous, vicious type. Vicious type, and have no dispute with me either. Definitely, they've come here not because of me. It turns out I've had a silly suspicion. The voice of the man in the room sounds somewhat familiar, but who is he? He heard Xiang Guanghai said, Yama's foe, Divine Dr. Shui, suddenly sends out hero invitation cards to invite every fellow in Jianghu. The situation is also very urgent because it says, to the hero who sees this card, your esteemed presence is requested. Big Brother Bao, do you know what this is for? When Xiaofeng heard the words Yama's foe, Divine Dr. Shui, he immediately had a mixed feeling of happiness and fright. Divine Dr. Shui is around here? Wait. Divine Dr. Sui is around here. I only knew that he was far away in Guangzhou. If he is around here, the little maid Aju can be saved. He had heard that Divine Dr. Sui was the #1 wizard in medical circles nowadays. Because the two words Divine Doctor were too famous, everyone did not even know what his original real name was. The tales of him in Jianghu were even more exaggerated, saying that he could even bring the dead back to life. As for the people who were alive, no matter how serious the injuries or illnesses they suffered were, he always had methods to cure them. And for this reason, Yama of Hell also had a serious headache, as every time he sent Wuchang little demons to capture people, Divine Dr. Sui would often stay at the side and thwart them, or block the way and snatch the people. Not only did Divine Dr. Sui have godlike medical knowledge, his martial arts were also outstanding. He liked many friends with fellows in Jianghu. When he cured a person of an illness, he often consulted them about one martial arts stance or two. The person involved felt grateful to him for saving their life, therefore, naturally, they would not hold back anything when passing on their knowledge and only teach him their proudest skills. Okay, so this doctor is a really good doctor, and whenever he cures someone, he asks them for one or two moves, and they teach it to him. He heard Fast Saber Qiliu ask, Shopkeeper Bao, recently have you bought or sold something good? Xiaofeng thought, no wonder the voice of the man in the room sounds familiar. It turns out he's No Capital, Bao Qianling. This man robs the rich to aid the poor. He has quite a heroic reputation. That year, when I assumed the beggar clan's chief post, he also participated in the ceremony. Already knowing that there were 3 people, Xiang Guanghai, Qiliu, and Bao Qianling in the room, he did not want to hear other people's private matters and thought, tomorrow morning I'll visit Bao Qianling's room and ask him about where the Divine Dr. Sui is staying. When he was about to return to Aju's room, suddenly he heard Bao Qianling sigh and say, for the past several days, I've been in a very bad mood and uninterested in buying or selling. Today, hearing that he killed his father, mother, and master, I was even more furious. As he finished saying this, he stretched out his hand and gave the table a heavy slap. When Xiaofeng heard the words, killed his father, mother, and master, he was scared. They're talking about me. Xiang Guanghai said, this Xiaofeng guy has always had a big reputation and been hypocritical. Not just a few people have been fooled by him. Who would have expected he could commit such monstrous crimes like this? Bao Qianling said, that year, when he assumed the beggar clan's chief post, I and he also had a chance to meet each other. I've always admired the conduct of this man in the past. Hearing Zhao III say he belonged to the Khitan barbaric ethnic group, I still tried my best to argue that he didn't. For this reason, I and Zhao III quarreled to the point that we turned purple with rage and almost had a fight with each other. Oh, barbaric people really are the same as animals. He could hide it for a period of time, but later on, the ferocious character eventually broke open. Qiliu said, who could have expected that he has roots in the Shaolin monastery? Xuan Ku Daishi was his master. Bao Qianling said, this matter at first was very secret. Even in the Shaolin school, very few people knew about it. But Xiaofeng already killed his master, so Shaolin school can no longer conceal the truth. This Chiao, surnamed Vicious Traitor, only thought that after killing his father, mother, and master, he'd be able to hide his origin, and he'd rather die than admit it to anyone. But he couldn't have expected that he would overreach himself, and his sins would become more and more serious. Standing outside the door, hearing Bao Qianling assessing his mind like this, Qiao Feng thought, no capital, Bao Qianling and I can be regarded as having some friendship. This man is definitely not the type to make irresponsible remarks, even if he is saying like this. Of course, other people's words would be even more unbearable. Oh, I, Qiao Feng, have suffered this unjustifiable injustice. Why should I bother clearing myself of it? From now on, I'll just conceal my identity. More than 10 years later, friends in Jianghu would all forget that there's a person like me, that's all. In an instant, he could not help but feel utterly disheartened. He heard Xiang Wanghai continue. My guess is that the divine Dr. Sui sends out hero invitation cards to confer with other people about how to deal with Qiao Feng. This Yama's foe hates evil like an enemy. I've also heard that he and the two dashi, Xuannan and Xuanji of Shaolin Monastery, have a really deep friendship. Bao Qianling said, correct. I think recently in Jianghu, besides Qiao Feng doing evil, there's no other major affair. Brother Xiang, Brother Qi, come on. Let's drink up several gin of white spirit. Tonight we're going to have a long talk. Qiao Feng thought even if they talked till dawn, they would merely make an extra effort to angrily scold him. Hence, he did not want to hear any more, and returned to Aju's room immediately. Seeing that his face was pale and was having a very ugly expression, Aju asked, Great Master Qiao, did you meet enemies? She was worried that he had suffered internal injuries. Qiao Feng shook his head. Aju was still uneasy. She asked, You're not injured, right? Ever since Qiao Feng had started to step into Jianghu, he had only been respected by friends and feared by enemies. He had never been despised and looked down upon, like he had been for the past several days. Hearing Aju ask him so, he could not help but sense his pride rising. He said loudly, No, I'm not. It's not difficult for those ignorant, narrow-minded lowlifes to defame and spread false rumors about me. But if they want to fight and injure me, it may not necessarily be easy. Suddenly, heroic and meddlesome feelings surged up in his heart. He said, Aju, tomorrow I'm going to find the best doctor under heaven to treat the injury for you, so just relax and sleep. Seeing his proud expression, Aju had a lot of respect and admiration for him, but she was also scared. She felt that the man in front of her was totally different than Mr. Murong, but they also had very many similarities, as both of them did not fear heaven and hell, and were both prideful and majestic. But Qiao Feng was straightforward and heroic like a mighty lion, while Mr. Murong was refined and unaffected like a phoenix. After making up his mind, Qiao Feng was no longer worried. He then fell asleep, soon after sitting down on the chair. Aju saw the dim lamplight beaming on his face. After a while, she could hear him snoring. Suddenly, his facial muscles twitched slightly, and he ground his teeth. The muscles on both sides of his square face stuck out. Aju felt that the brawny man in front of her was very pitiable, and really was much unhappier than she herself was. Early in the morning of the next day, Qiao Feng transferred his internal energy to Aju, paid the rent, and asked the inn attendant to go hire a mule wagon. He helped Aju take a sit in the wagon, then went to the outside of Bao Qianling's room and said loudly, Brother Bao, this little brother Qiao Feng pays a visit. Oh. So he visits those three people in their room. After cursing Qiao Feng for half a night, the three people, Bao Qianling, Xiang Wanghai, and Qi Liu, had been very tired and fallen asleep. At this moment, they had not yet waken up. Suddenly, hearing the shout by Qiao Feng, they were all frightened and immediately jumped out of the earthen bed simultaneously, taking out their saber, drawing the sword, and touching the whip. As soon as the three people held their weapons in their hands, they were dumbfounded because they saw that there was a small piece of white paper on which four small words, Qiao Feng paying respects, were written, sticking to the weapon of each of them. The three people looked at each other, gasping with astonishment. They knew that the previous night Qiao Feng had played a trick on them. Had he wanted to take their lives, it would have been as easy as turning his hand over. Among them, Bao Qianling was even more embarrassed as his nickname was No Capital. He had gone to thousands of houses in the daytime and had broken through hundreds of doors at nighttime, leaping onto roofs. Vaulting over walls and stealing other people's money were his best skills. Yet, during the night, he had been played a prank on by Qiao Feng without knowing anything about it until now. Bao Qianling wound the flexible whip back around his waist, knowing that if Qiao Feng had wanted to harm them, he would have done it the night before. He immediately ran to the door and said, "The head on Bao Qianling's neck. Brother Qiao can have it whenever you want to. I, Bao, specialize in doing business without capital. Even if my entire home is lost at the hands of Brother Qiao, it's still nothing. You killed even your father, mother, and master, and only have a nodding acquaintance with me. Why should you show mercy to me?" As soon as he had seen the piece of paper on his flexible whip, he had already made a decision. He knew the situation today was very dangerous. If he himself argued insolently with Qiao Feng to the end, there would really be no way to flee for his life. Therefore, it would be better to hand over himself to him. No capital means he has no hometown. I don't think that's what that means. Qiao Feng cupped his fist in his hand and said, "Several years have flown by since the day we bid farewell to each other in Qingzhou Prefecture in Shandong. Brother Bao's demeanor is still the same as before. This is really pleasing and commendable." Bao Qianling ha-ha laughed and said, "Ho, I've just been dragging out an ignoble life. Until now, on the whole, I haven't died yet." Qiao Feng said, Hearing that Yama's foe, Divine Dr. Shui, has sent out hero invitation cards, I'd rather like to go increase my knowledge. May I go with the three of you?" Bao Qianling was astonished and thought, "Divine Dr. Shui has sent out hero invitation cards to deal with you. Having the nerve to go alone, you must be impatient not to live. In the end, what's your intention? I've long heard that Chief Qiao of the Beggars clan is bold but cautious, and both brave and resourceful. If it's not because he's secure in the knowledge that he has strong backing, he definitely wouldn't hurl himself into the net. I mustn't fall into his trap." Seeing that he was hesitant about replying, Qiao Feng said, "I have a matter to beg Divine Dr. Shui. Hopefully, Brother Bao will lead the way." Bao Qianling thought, "I'm worried about not being able to escape from his murderous hands. If I lead him to the hero's banquet, extraordinary people will jointly attack him. Even if he had 3 heads and 6 arms, he would be hopelessly outnumbered. But going with him is really like facing an almost certain death." Even though he was worried, he still thought that it would be good to lead Qiao Feng to the meeting of heroes. Hence, he said, "This great banquet for heroes will be held at Juxian Manor, which is 70 li away, to the northeast. Brother Qiao wants to go there. This can't be better, but I'm going to make it clear that in the first place, this meeting isn't a nice meeting, and this banquet isn't a nice banquet. If Brother Qiao goes there, it'll bode ill rather than well for you. Please don't blame Bao Qianling for not telling you in advance." Qiao Feng smiled half-heartedly and said, I appreciate Brother Bao's good intentions. The heroes' banquet will be held at Juxian Manor, so the organizers are the You clan's heroes. The You clan's 2 heroes, aren't they? It's also easy to ask about the location of Juxian Manor, so the 3 of you, please go ahead. It won't be late if this little brother goes slowly. Slowly goes 2 hours later. This will also allow time for everyone to prepare. Bao Qianling turned around and looked at Qi Liu and Xiang Guanghai. The two of them slowly nodded. Bao Qianling said, "If so, the three of us will respectfully wait for Brother Qiao's arrival at Yuxian Manor." The three people, Bao, Qi, and Xiang, hurriedly paid the rent, then got on their horses and whipped them towards Juxian Manor. They urged the horses on all the way, and sometimes they turned their heads around to take a peep, fearing that Qiao Feng would suddenly ride a fast horse and catch up with them from the back. Fortunately, all along they did not see him. Bao Qianling was certainly a very clever person, and Qi Liu and Xiang Guanghai were also extraordinary people in Jianghu who had a lot of experience and extensive knowledge. But after the three of them discussed and made guesses on the way, they still could not understand what Qiao Feng's intentions were when he had said he would go to the hero's banquet alone. Qi Liu suddenly said, "Big brother Bao, did you see that big wagon beside Xiao Feng? I'm afraid there's something strange in it." Xiang Guanghai said, "Could it be that there's someone formidable hiding in the wagon?" Bao Qianling said, "Even if the inside of the wagon was to be packed with people to the point that the air couldn't pass through it, it'd only be possible to shove 7 or 8 people into it. Adding Xiao Feng, there'd still be less than 10 people. If they went to the hero's banquet, it'd be like a small boat going into the ocean. What would it be able to achieve?" While they were talking, they gradually met more Wulin fellows on the way, all of whom were rushing to Juxian Manor to attend the hero's banquet. Yeah, this hero's banquet is to discuss what to do with Qiao Feng, right? How to defeat him. This time, the invitation to the hero's banquet had been issued shortly before the opening, and the invitation cards did not have the names of the guests, but whoever saw one of them would be welcomed as long as they were a person in Wulin. The people who had received the invitation cards had used fast horses to forward them to their fellows in the same night, one person forwarding to another. Therefore, within 1 day and 1 night, the invitation cards had been spread very far. Because the time was too limited, most of the people who went to the Chuxian Manor were from within several hundreds of li of Shaolin Monastery, but Hunan was a central region. Hence, besides local martial arts people, the well-known experts in Wulin of the north and the south who had received the message all went to the meeting. The number of people was really not small. This time, the invitation to the hero's banquet was jointly issued by the You clan's 2 heroes of Juxian Manor and Yama's foe, Divine Dr. Sui. The You clan's 2 heroes, Yoji and Yoju, were rich and powerful and had a wide circle of acquaintances, remarkable martial arts, and resounding names, but they were not a formidable force in Wulin. They could not be regarded as being people of noble character and high prestige, to invite so many heroes and extraordinary people. But Divine Dr. Sui was the person that everybody wanted to make friends with. Even though in general martial arts users were vainglorious, very few people were confident that they could fight without equal under heaven. Even if they really flattered themselves that they were the number 1 in martial arts nowadays, it was still difficult to not get sick or suffer injuries. If they could make friends with this Divine Dr. Sui, they themselves would have an extra life, because as long as they did not get killed on the spot, and Divine Dr. Sui was willing to treat them, they would narrowly escape death. Therefore, if the You clan's 2 heroes invited guests, the people who received the invitation cards would only feel that they themselves were honored. But these were also the invitation cards by Divine Dr. Sui. Hence, they were like a life-saving talisman. They all thought, if today they got in touch and made friends with him, in the future, if they met unforeseen disasters or accidents, he would not be able to ignore them. Moreover, as people whose lives were put on the tip of the saber, who could be sure that they would not meet unforeseen disasters? The signatures on the invitation cards were three names: Shui Muhua, Yoji, and Yoju, followed by a line of small words. Yoji and Yoju's additional explanation: Mr. Shui Muhua is addressed as Divine Dr. Shui. If there had not been this line of small words, probably the receivers of the invitation cards would not have known what kind of highly able person Sui Muhua was, and hence the number of people going to the Juxian Manor would perhaps have been less than 3/10 of what it was at the moment. When the three people Bao Qianling, Qi Liu, and Xiang Wanghai arrived at the manor, the second brother You Zhu personally came out to welcome. After entering the hall, they saw that there were already full of people sitting in the hall. Bao Qianling was not acquainted with all of them, but as soon as he entered the hall, there were human voices all around, mostly saying, "Shopkeeper Bao, are you enjoying prosperity? Old chap Bao, how has your business been doing?" Bao Qianling continuously folded his hands in salute and greeted all the heroes. He really did not dare to be careless, and as even though many of these heroes in Jianghu were generous and open-minded, there were also not just a few narrow-minded people. If he forgot to give someone a nod or a smile in return, he would possibly unconsciously displease them, thus causing endless future troubles. Even if it led to a fatal disaster, this also would not be something strange. Wow, if you don't like give a nod or a smile to someone, they may become super mad at you in the future. Yoju led him to the top position in the east. Divine Dr. Sui stood up and said, "Brother Bao, Brother Qi, Brother Xiang, the esteemed presence of the three of you here really makes me feel as if my face is covered in gold. I extremely appreciate it." Bao Qianling promptly returned the salute and said, "Once Master Shui has beckoned, even if Bao Qianling was so sick that I couldn't move, I would still ask other people to carry me here." The big brother Yoji laughed and said, "Ha ha ha! If you were really bedridden, you'd want to ask other people to take you here to meet Master Shui even more." The people all around laughed heartily. Yoju said, "The three of you have had a tiring journey. Please, go to the rear hall to have a snack." Bao Qianling said, "It won't be late to have a snack later. May I ask a question? Is Qiao Feng among the guests that Master Shui and the two masters Yo invite this time?" When Divine Dr. Sui and the Yo clan's two heroes heard the two words Qiao Feng, their faces slightly changed colors. Yoji said, "This time we've sent out invitation cards without guest names. Whoever sees them is invited. Brother Bao has mentioned Qiao Feng. What's your intention? Brother Bao and that Qiao Feng guy, you guys have quite a friendship, right?" Bao Qianling said, "That Qiao Feng guy said he was going to Juxian Manor to attend the great banquet for heroes." As soon as he said so, the crowd was startled. At first, everyone in the big hall had been talking noisily and in a high-flown way, but all of a sudden, everyone became quiet. The people who were standing far from Bao Qianling could not hear what he had just said, but suddenly, finding that no one was saying anything anymore, they themselves also stopped saying what they had not yet finished. The big hall fell silent instantly, but the distant sounds of people drinking wine in the rear hall and of people talking and laughing in the corridor could be heard. Divine Dr. Shui asked, "Brother Bao, how do you know that Xiao Feng guy is going to come here?" Bao Qianling said, "I, Brother Qi, and Brother Xiang personally heard that. It's a shame to say, but last night, the three of us took a serious tumble." Xiang Wanghai continuously gave him signals with his eyes, wanting to tell him not to relate the shameful incident of the night before. But Bao Qianling knew the divine Dr. Sui and the Yo clan's two heroes were undoubtedly highly capable. There were also many intelligent people in the hero meeting. If he himself hid a bit, it would definitely cause other people to become suspicious. This matter was very important. He himself had become entangled in the maelstrom. If he dealt with it just a bit improperly, his status and reputation would instantly go out the window. He slowly took the flexible whip out from his waist. The piece of paper which had the 4 words Qiao Feng paying respects was still sticking on to it. He passed the flexible whip to the divine Dr. Sui, using both hands, and said, Qiao Feng ordered the 3 of us to pass on a message that today he was going to Juxian Manor. After that, he recounted things such as how they had met Qiao Feng and what he had said, not holding back even a single word. Xiang Guanghai continuously stamped, his whole face reddened with shame. After Bao Qianling calmly recounted everything, he said, This Qiao Feng guy is from the Khitan dog... They really hate the Khitans. This Qiao Feng guy is from the Khitan dog ethnicity. We should still eliminate him, even if he was noble and righteous, let alone the fact that his evil has become obvious, and he's an increasingly intense danger. If he runs off to distant parts, it'll be hard to hunt him down. But heaven really has its will. Who could have expected that he would willingly hurl himself into the net? Yoju muttered, I've usually heard that Qiao Feng is both brave and resourceful. His abilities are sufficient for him to successfully do evil. He's not a reckless lout. Could it be that he really dares to go to this great banquet for heroes? Bao Qianling said, I'm afraid he has other wicked plans. We mustn't be without caution. The more people, the more ideas. Let's plan together, everyone. While he was saying this, many more heroes and extraordinary people arrived at the outside, including impartial Judge Shan Zheng and his 5 sons, Grandpa Tan, Granny Tan, and Qiao Qiansun. Before long, the 2 high-level monks of the Shaolin school, Xuannan and Xuanji, also arrived. Divine Dr. Sui and the You clan's brothers welcomed and sincerely received them one by one. When mentioning the evil of Qiao Feng, they all raged. Suddenly, the housekeeper who received guests came in and reported, Elder Shu of the Beggars Clan has led the Elder of Merit Propagation, the Elder of Rule Enforcement, and the 4 elders Song, Xi, Chen, and Wu to our manor for a visit. Everyone shivered with fear. The Beggars Clan was the #1 large society in Jianghu and could not be held in contempt. Xiang Guanghai said, As expected, the Beggars Clan has come here in great force to express support for Qiao Feng. Shang Zheng said, Qiao Feng has already been expelled from the society. There is no longer the Beggars Clan's chief. I saw with my own eyes that they turned their backs on and became the enemies of one another. Xiang Guanghai said, But at this point, they haven't necessarily forgotten all the old feelings. Yoji said, All of the Beggars Society's elders are proud, brave men. How could they disregard rights and wrongs to protect their enemy? If they still helped Qiao Feng, wouldn't they become Han traitors to the country? Everyone nodded in approval and said, Definitely, not even a good-for-nothing would want to be a Han traitor. Divine Dr. Sui and the You clan's 2 heroes went out of the manor to welcome them. Seeing that there were only 12 or 13 people of the Beggars Clan coming, they felt relaxed and thought, Needless to say, these beggars are unlikely to protect Qiao Feng. Even if they were up to no good this time, with these 12 or 13 people, what would they be able to achieve? They greeted the people such as Elder Shu perfunctorily, then invited them to enter the big hall. They could see a worried expression on the faces of all the Beggars Clan's people. Obviously, these people were bearing a heavy load on their minds. After splitting into hosts and guests, everyone sat down. Elder Shu started the conversation. Brother Sui and the 2 Lao Du of the You family, today you invite all the heroes to gather here. Is it because of the newly emerging cause of trouble in Wulin, Qiao Feng? After the heroes heard him call Qiao Feng the newly emerging cause of trouble in Wulin, they looked at each other, and without prior consultation, they all let out a sigh of relief. Yoji said, It's exactly for this reason. Elder Shu and every elder of your noble clan come here together. This is really a great luck to Wu Lin. If we want to kill this foreign dog, we must get the nod from the elders of your noble society. Otherwise, it would provoke misunderstanding and damage the harmony, making everyone unavoidably regret it. Perfunctorily, definition. You doing things in accordance with protocols. I mean, so you're doing things that you're supposed to do. Yeah, you're following certain protocols. I think that's what that means. So like you're supposed to greet everyone, so you perfunctorily go around greeting everyone because that's what you're supposed to do. Perfunctorily? Wait. To do something perfunctorily is to do it because you have to, as a formality. There you go. Often in a careless way. That counts, right? I was correct. So you're doing what you're supposed to do, not necessarily what you want to do. Elder Shu let out a deep sigh and said, "This man is extremely ruthless and vicious, and acts strangely. Originally, he achieved quite a few great feats for our society. Recently, when we made mistakes and were plotted against by crooks, it was also him who saved us. But when a Da Jiangfu, which is an ambitious or a successful man, conducts himself, he should attach most importance to the general situation. Going through the motions." Ah, there you go. That's a good way to put it. "So we have no choice but to banish those few small kindnesses from our minds. He's a mortal enemy of our great song. The elders of our society have been treated well by him, but we can't abandon public righteousness because of personal gratitude. They say righteousness must be placed above family loyalty, let alone the fact that now he isn't a relative of our clan's peoples." As soon as he said that, everyone in the crowd applauded and cheered. Joshua! Wait. Not quite? What do you mean by not quite? Thanks for the super chat, by the way. Yoji then mentioned that Qiao Feng also wanted to attend the great banquet for heroes. Wait, hold on. Wait, I missed this one. As soon as he said that, everyone in the crowd applauded and cheered. Yoji then mentioned that Qiao Feng also wanted to attend the great banquet for heroes. When the elders heard that, all of them were quite astonished. Having followed Qiao Feng for a long time, they knew that he always acted with both valor and strategy. If he really single-handedly came to Juxian Manor, it would be extremely unusual. You're saying to perfunctorily. So, wait, you're saying I didn't quite get it right? I think I did. No? Nikki agrees. Look, go fight with her. Xiang Wanghai suddenly said, "I think that Qiao Feng guy has deliberately created a diversionary front to make everyone kick their heels in here, but he has slipped away to somewhere no one knows. This is called the tactic of escaping by using crafty schemes." Elder Wu stretched out his hand, gave the table a heavy slap, and scolded. "Escaping your mother by using crafty schemes? What kind of a man is Qiao Feng? Once he says something, how could he not keep his words?" Scolded by him, Xiang Guanghai's face reddened. He said angrily, "You want to appear in public to support Qiao Feng, right? I, Xiang, am the first to disapprove of it. Come here, come here, come here. Let's have a fight." After hearing all kinds of news that Xiao Feng had killed his parents and master, then caused a big disturbance at the Shaolin monastery, Elder Wu had been very depressed. His heart had been filled with resentment and rage, and he did not know who he should vent his feelings on. Hence, this Xiang Guanghai guy, unreasonably challenging Elder Wu, was really most welcomed. In a flash, he jumped into the courtyard in front of the big hall and said loudly, Xiao Feng is from the Khitan dog ethnicity, or is completely a Han man. At this moment is still unclear. If he's really a Khitan barbarian, I'll be the first to fight him to the death. Wanna kill Xiao Feng? Even if counting to the person numbered 1,000, it still wouldn't be your turn, you stinking turtle egg. Who the heck are you to gab in here, escaping your grandmother by using stinking, crafty schemes? Come here, your father's gonna teach you a lesson. Xiang Wanghai's face had already turned livid. A shua sound was heard. He had drawn the saber out of its sheath. As soon as he looked at the blade, he remembered the piece of paper, which read Xiao Feng paying respects, and could not help feeling at a loss. Yoji said, The two of you are my honorable guests. Please have some consideration for my face. We cannot lose harmony. Elder Shu also said, Brother Wu, you shouldn't be rash in your actions. You must take into account the reputation of the whole clan. Suddenly, someone in the crowd said in a soft voice, Having produced such a person as Xiao Feng, the Beggars Clan really has a very good reputation. You must take it into account and preserve it carefully. As soon as the Beggar Clan's extraordinary men heard that, they shouted furiously, Who said that? Come out if you have the skills. What kind of brave man would hide in the crowd to be a dwarf? Which goddamn turtle egg is that? But after saying those sentences, that person kept silent. Hence, no one knew who had just said those words. Being ridiculed with those two sentences, the extraordinary people from the Beggars Clan were totally annoyed, but because they could not find anyone who admitted saying so, they could not do anything either. Even though the Beggars Clan was the number one clan in Jianghu, the extraordinary men, the number one biggest clan in Jianghu, the extraordinary men of the clan were all beggars. After all, they were not upper-class people who paid particular attention to formalities. Hence, some of them shouted and some of them cursed other people's 18 generations of ancestors. Nice. Divine Dr. Shui frowned and said, All of you, please calm down and hear this senile old man say a few words. The beggars gradually became quiet. Suddenly, in the crowd, that cold voice said again, Very good, very good. Xiao Feng has sent this many formidable guys to here to carry out undercover tasks. After a while, there'll definitely be a good play to watch. As soon as the people, such as Elder Wu, heard that, they got even angrier. Shua, shua sounds were heard continuously. Dazzling lights of sabers were seen. Many people had taken out their weapons. The rest of the guests only thought that the Beggars Clan's people wanted to fight. Therefore, many of them also took out their weapons. With a lot of shouting and cursing, the hall was plunged into disorder. Divine Dr. Shui and the Yo Clan's brothers advised everyone to calm down, but the shouts by the three of them only added to the uproar in the hall. Okay, well, so much for this group of heroes. Alright, guys, be right back. 5 minutes. And we back. Wing Chun, that is the person who sings that song. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Meng Run? Alright. Alright, looks like we have another translator. Different translator. Let's see how this guy fares. So here's the setup. What? Aju was injured by a Shaolin monk. Wait. Oh, hey. This translator decided to give us a little summary of what's been happening. Thank you. Mr. Translator. So here's the setup. Aju was injured by a Shaolin monk after she ran into Qiao Feng while stealing Yi Qingjing. There's only one person in the world. The Yi Qingjing is the sutra that she stole from the Shaolin temple. There's only one person in the world who could save her, divine Dr. Sui. But as Xiao Feng and Aju got closer to the doctor's home, they discovered that the doctor and the Yo brothers had organized a meeting of heroes to discuss how to get rid of Qiao Feng. Despite this, Qiao Feng still decided to go. At the meeting, when the Beggars Clan delegation, led by Elder Wu, showed up, someone sarcastically shouted that Qiao Feng had sent his underlings to undermine the meeting, and a brawl almost broke out. Anyway, on with the show. Thank you, translator. In this chaos, a servant hurriedly ran into the hall. All of these translators love the word hurriedly. They use it 100 times. They probably used it 100 times already. In this chaos, a servant hurriedly ran into the hall. He ran up to Yoji's side and whispered something to him. Yoji's face darkened as he asked the servant something. The servant, his face full of fear and surprise, pointed to the outside. Yoji turned and whispered something to divine Dr. Sui, causing his face to drop as well. Yoju walked up to his older brother's side, and Yoji told him as well. Yoju's face dropped immediately. One man told two, two men told four, and just like that, the word spread among the crowd. In an instant, the noisy and chaotic hall was in complete silence, because everyone had heard the words by now. Qiao Feng is here. Oh, he did come. Uh-oh. By himself? Divine Dr. Sui nodded towards the Yo brothers and shot a look towards Xuan Nan and Xuan Zhu, the two Shaolin representatives, before declaring, "Let him in." The servant turned and walked out. Everyone's heart was beating a mile a minute, despite I think this translator is a little bit better, no? A mile a minute, that's an English idiom, isn't it? Everyone's heart was beating a mile a minute, despite the fact that all of them knew that with their numeric advantage, they could overwhelm Qiao Feng and chop him into a million pieces in an instant. But this man was just too famous, and coming here all by himself like this, obviously he wasn't afraid. Don't know what kind of devious plot he is pulling. In the silence, the only sounds one can hear is the steady beat of horse hooves and the low rumble of wheels on stone slabs as a donkey carriage approached the front door. But it didn't stop there and just walked in through the door. A donkey carriage is walking through the door. The Yo brothers were both frowning heavily, feeling that they have been slighted by this show of manners or lack thereof. Gudong, gudong. The wheels of the carriage hopped over the door sill. A huge man with a whip in his hand was sitting on the driver's seat. The curtains of the carriage were down, hiding something in the carriage, but everyone was staring at the driver. You thought the UK used the metric system? Wait, doesn't the UK use miles? Since it's the English system, right? It's the imperial system? Am I wrong? Square-faced and tall with a wide chest and huge shoulders, his eyes weren't angry, but demanded attention and instilled fear. Who else could it be but former leader of the Beggars Clan, Qiao Feng? Qiao Feng put the whip down beside him and hopped off the carriage. Cupping his fists, he said, "I heard that divine Dr. Sui and the Yo brothers were hosting a gathering of heroes here at Juxian Mansion. I can't consider myself a hero and don't dare attend such a gathering. It's just that there's an emergency I have to ask of the divine Dr. Sui. I hope you will forgive me for such an intrusion." He bowed deeply, looking very sincere. The more polite Chow Feng acted, the more convinced the rest of them were that he's got something up his sleeves. Yoju gave his left hand a slight flick, and 4 of his disciples immediately snuck out from the sides to inspect the surrounding areas. What does Brother Chow want of me? Divine Dr. Sui cupped his fist back and asked. Chow Feng took 2 steps back, moved the carriage curtains aside, and helped Ju out. Because of my rash actions, this girl was hit by another's palm and was severely injured. In this world, nobody but Divine Dr. Sui could help her. That's why I was so rude to come here, to ask Divine Dr. Sui to save her life. When everyone saw the carriage, they all got suspicious about what was inside. Some guessed that it was probably some poison or bomb. Others thought it was some poisonous snakes or ferocious beasts. And still, others guessed it was the Divine Dr. Sui's parents or relatives that Qiao Feng was going to use to blackmail him. Nobody could have guessed it would be a 16 or 17-year-old girl that would be stepping out of the carriage, asking Divine Dr. Sui for help. Everyone was surprised. You should get a song for that mistake. Wait, what mistake? Did I make a mistake? The UK uses miles, no? Not the metric system. The girl was wearing a light yellow-colored shirt and had a very pronounced forehead, making her look very unattractive. Turned out that Aju decided that the Murong family of Gusu had too many enemies out in the martial world, and there was a chance, if the divine Dr. Sui found out who she was, that he would refuse to help her. So she went out and bought a new set of clothes and put on a disguise in the carriage. Oh, so she's in disguise. She's in disguise. However, since she was going to see the doctor, she couldn't disguise herself as a man or an old woman. Wait, UK is not metric. UK uses the English system. Okay, hold on. Does the UK use metric? Aha! Britain is officially metric in line with the rest of Europe. However, imperial measures are still in use, especially for road distances, which are measured in miles. I was right. This turn of events caught Divine Dr. Sui off guard as well. In his life, he had seen plenty of people coming to him from far away to seek his medical help. It happens almost every day. But presently, with everyone trying to figure out how to catch and kill Qiao Feng, this despicable and incorrigible villain would just walk up in here and trap himself. It was quite a hard pill to swallow. Looking Aju over, he decided that Qiao Feng could not possibly be doing this out of lust because of her unattractiveness and young age. Suddenly, an idea hit him. Maybe this little gal is his younger sister. Not possible. This man killed his parents and his master as well. There's no way he would take such a risk over his younger sister. Maybe it's his daughter? I don't remember hearing that Qiao Feng got married. Being the great doctor he was, he could always tell the health of people with one glance as well as their bodily characteristics. Seeing Qiao Feng and Aju standing side by side, with one big and strong, the other small and weak, the two of them had nothing in common. Therefore, he decided that they were not related at all. What is this young Mrs.'s surname? He said after humming a little while his thought worked itself out. And what relation is she with you, sir? Qiao Feng was taken back a bit. He had called Aju nothing but Aju ever since they met. But was her surname really Chu? He didn't know. So he turned to Aju and asked, Is your surname Is your surname Ju? My surname is Wan. Aju smiled. Xiao Fang nodded. Divine Dr. Sui, her surname is actually Wan. I just found that out myself. So, this young miss and you aren't well acquainted. Divine Dr. Sui found that this was getting stranger and stranger. She's a maid of a friend of mine. Who is that friend of yours, sir? Must be very important to you, sir, or else how could you care so much for your friend's maid? That friend is only my friend in spirit. Qiao Feng shook his head. I have never met him before. An audible gasp escaped from nearly everyone present when they heard this. Most of them didn't believe him, thinking that he must be carrying out some plan and was just using this as an excuse to get in. But still, a good number of them knew that Xiao Feng had always been a very straightforward man. No matter what kind of terrible things he might have done, he probably wouldn't lie in front of everyone because of the pride he had in who he was. Hey, this translator is pretty good. No? Like, I can read his translation very easily. Divine Dr. Shui reached out and felt Aju's pulse, noticing that her pulse was indeed very weak, but the life force inside her was strong, totally opposite of what one would expect. He switched and felt Aju's pulse through her left wrist. By then, he had already figured out everything. Had this girl not been fed the incredible elixir of Master Tan of Mount Taihang, and not received your constant infusion of inner force, she would have died a long time ago from the Abbot Xuanzi's Buddha's great warrior attendant palm, he said to Qiao Feng. Wow. This guy just felt her pulse. This doctor just felt her pulse, and he knew exactly what happened to her. Like, he knew what palm strike hit her. He knew she took this elixir from Master Tan. And he knew that Qiao Feng was rejuvenating her with his life force or his inner energy. You're glad they hired a better translator halfway through the story? I don't know. We may switch translators soon. Who knows? This caused quite a stir from the crowd. Master Tan and Grandma Tan looked at each other, wondering, how did she get fed our elixir? Xuannan and Xuanju was even more astonished. When did our abbot hit a girl with Buddha's great warrior attendant palm? And if she really did get hit by it, how in the world could she have survived? Dr. Sui, Xuannan had to speak up. Our abbot had not left the premise of our humble temple for years now, and women aren't allowed into the Shaolin temple. So this Buddha's great warrior attendant palm could not have come from my elder martial brother. Divine Dr. Sui frowned. Is there anyone else in the world who knows this Buddha's great warrior attendant palm? That question quieted both Xuannan and Xuanju. They have been at Shaolin for several decades now and were taught by the same master as Sun Tzu. They worked as hard as possible and tried as hard as they might, but this Buddha's great warrior attendant palm still required some natural-born talent, and neither was able to master it. But neither one was bitter nor regret trying, for they knew that only once several centuries in the history of Shaolin does someone with enough martial arts genius come along to master this palm skill. There were times when nobody among the hundreds of monks in the temple knew it, but it was never lost because of the great pains that the monks of the past generations took to record down the details of training for such a skill. Did she really get hit by Buddha's great warrior attendant palm? Xuanju wanted to ask, but he stopped himself before he did, for asking such a question would be questioning the skills of the divine Dr. Sui, which would have been incredibly rude and unseemly. So instead he turned to Qiao Feng. Last night you snuck into Shaolin and killed my martial brother Xuanku. At that time you had been hit once by Abbot's Buddha's great warrior attendant palm. Had that palm hit this girl, how could she have survived? He inquired accusingly. Father Xuanku is my master, and I am indebted to him forever. Xiao Feng shook his head in response. Until I repay him for everything he has done for me, I would rather die than harm him one bit. Still won't own up to it? Xuanju angrily replied. Then what about that Shaolin disciple that you kidnapped? Did you not do that either? The Shaolin disciple I took with me is right in front of you at this moment. Xiao Feng thought to himself. Instead, he replied, If father insists on accusing me of kidnapping the Shaolin disciple, then could you please tell me what is the name of the Shaolin disciple that I have kidnapped? Xuanju and Xuannan looked at each other again with stunned silence, as neither of them could say a thing. Last night, along with Xuanzu, they had quite clearly saw Xiao Feng take a Shaolin disciple with him as he was escaping. Yet when they checked afterwards, nobody was missing. This was one riddle that they could not figure out for the life of them. Brother Chao, all by himself, snuck into and out of Shaolin last night without a single injury, and still was able to kidnap a Shaolin disciple with him. That's rather hard to believe. Divine Dr. Sui cut in. There must be something going on here that you are not telling us about. I didn't kill Father Xuanku, and I certainly did not kidnap a Shaolin disciple last night either. There's a lot of things that you guys don't understand, and there's a lot of things that I don't understand either, Xiao Feng replied. No matter what, Xuanan declared, this young miss could not have been injured by my martial brother, the abbot. The abbot is a respected and enlightened leader of a sect. How could he possibly bring himself to hit a young miss such as her? No matter what this young miss is guilty of, my martial brother would not stoop to her level and hit her. Qiao Feng figured, it's probably better that they insist that Aju wasn't injured by Abbot Xuanzu. Otherwise, Divine Dr. Sui might, because of Shaolin, refuse to heal her. So he decided to just push the boat down the river and go along with it. Of course, Abbot Xuanzu is forever benevolent and would never hurt a girl like her, so most likely it's somebody disguising as Shaolin master, causing trouble, hurting people, and spreading rumors, Xiao Feng said. Xuanchu and Xuannan looked at each other again and slowly nodded. This bastard Xiao Feng may be villainous, but these couple of words are very reasonable. Aju was giggling inside. What Master Chao said is completely true. There really was somebody disguised as a Shaolin monk, causing trouble and spreading rumors. Only the person who the pretender was trying to be wasn't Abbot Xuanzu, but monk Ziqing. But how could Xuanchu, Xuanan, Divine Dr. Sui, and the rest of them figure out the real meaning behind Qiao Feng's words? Seeing Xuanchu and Xuanan's reaction, Divine Dr. Sui decided that it was okay to move on. So it seems that there's actually another person in the world that knows Buddha's great warrior attendant poem. He continued his diagnoses. When this person made this move, something was in the way, and much of the power of his strike was dissipated. That's how Miss Wan was able to survive the strike. That person's strike power is probably on par with that of the abbot Xuanzi. Oh, thanks, Nikki. Yes, I have a 400k subs on the channel. Thanks so much. Yeah, I think that happened today. Yay! Woohoo! Uh, it's getting hotter, guys. It's getting hotter in here. The insulation is not working. Qiao Feng had to admire the doctor. Much Much Abbot Swanchu's strike power was indeed blocked by my bronze shield. Divine Dr. Sui is truly amazing to be able to describe all of this just by simply measuring Aju's pulse. Looks like there's hope that he would heal Aju. Can we get a special karaoke event for this? For 400k? For 400k subs? Special karaoke event. I don't know. I'll think about it. I have to remove my pants because it's hot. How do you know I'm wearing pants right now? How do you know that? Smiling, he said, "If this young girl would die from Buddha's great attendant palm, then it would cause Shaolin to lose some face. So I beg Divine Dr. Shui to wait, hold on. Damn it. This is Qiao Feng talking. Smiling, he said, "If this young girl would die from Buddha's great attendant palm, then it would cause Shaolin to lose some face. So I beg Divine Dr. Sui to cure her." He bowed as he finished. A karaoke song to celebrate 400k? A karaoke song or a karaoke event with many songs? I think that was what Nikki said. No wait, that was Afchi said. Okay, hold on. Okay, we gotta continue reading, guys. Continue. Who hit you? Where were you hit when you got hurt? Where is that person now? Surenju asked Aju before the divine Dr. Sui could reply. He was worried over the reputation of Shaolin and decided that he must get to the bottom of this. Aju, unlike the serious and measured Qiao Feng, was a fun-loving girl who tells harmless lies and makes stuff up all the time. So at this point, she figured, these monks are all afraid of Master, so why did she call him Master? That must be a translation thing. These monks are all afraid of Master, so why don't I just bring him into this and scare them a little? Oh wait, no, she's talking about her master, Murong Fu. A karaoke event? I don't know if people would be into that. No? I don't think that fits with the theme of the channel. Maybe if I had a second channel. A personal channel. I can do that there. But that currently does not exist. Okay, so Aju is like, oh, why don't I just bring my master into this and scare them a little? That person is a young gentleman, very handsome and suave looking, around 28 or 29 years old. This Master Qiao and I was just talking about how amazing the divine Dr. Sui is. He's not just the best in the world, he's just about the best there ever was and ever will be. There's nobody like him before, and almost surely nobody has goodwill come in the future, even the gods and goddesses in the heavens aren't as great. There isn't a single person in this world who doesn't like hearing his own praise. Divine Dr. Sui had heard so many praises like this in his lifetime that he had lost count a long time ago. But this is the first time that he had ever heard praise from an articulate young girl. Plus the fact that she was exaggerating shamelessly, he could not help but stroke his beard and smile at the praise. Qiao Feng, however, was frowning. What is she talking about? This gal is making stuff up like crazy. That's when... Oh, so she's just making this up. That's when I said, with divine Dr. Sui in the world, we don't have to bother learning Kung Fu anymore. Aju continued. Master Qiao asked, why not? I said, divine Dr. Sui could even resurrect a dead person. Then that's then what's the point of learning Kung Fu? You kill one, he cures one. You kill two, he heals a pair. Aren't we just wasting our efforts for nothing? She was articulate, and her voice was easy on the ear. And even though she's injured and was imitating the Qingcheng sect disciples in their Sichuan dialect, this spiel sounded like marbles rolling around in a jade bowl, and was a pleasure to listen to. Everyone smiled at her talk. Some even laughed out loud. But Aju didn't smile at all as she continued. There was this young gentleman sitting by us listening to us talk. He suddenly snickered and said, The strike powers of people in this world are mostly weak and completely devoid of inner force. That doctor named Shui is not worthy of such a lofty status. Let's see if he can't heal this palm strike of mine. As he said that, he struck out towards me through the air. I thought he was joking with me because he was so far away, but Master Chiao was shocked. And he stuck his arm out to block it, Xuanju interrupted. No. Aju shook her head and continued. Had Master Chiao stuck his arm out to block it, then I wouldn't have been hurt, but Master Chiao was too far away for me to do that. So instead, he picked up a chair and threw it over. His timing was just right, and with a huge crack, the chair was smashed into pieces by the force of that young gentleman's palm strength. That young gentleman spoke in such a soft Suzhou dialect, but there was nothing soft about his kung fu. I immediately felt as if I was weightless, as if I had flown into the clouds, without a single ounce of strength left in my body. Then I heard him say, Go and tell that divine Dr. Sui of yours to go flip a couple more medical books and get a little practice. That way, when he has to do the same thing for Abbot Xuan Tzu in the future, he would know what to do. What did he mean by that? Suen Nan frowned. He seemed to be saying that he would use this Buddha's great warrior attendant palm on Abbot Xuan Tzu in the future. Aju replied. Ooh! Almost everyone in the crowd uttered in unison. Several more people simultaneously added, Using your own method, back onto yourself. So it is, Gusu Murong. A couple of other people chimed in, making sure to add the so it is part in, so as to tell everyone else that they suspected as much a long time ago. Nobody knew what Aju was doing because of Nobody knew what Aju was doing because of Shaolin's wrongful accusation of her master Murong. Figuring that sooner or later he and Shaolin's misunderstanding was going to come to a head, she figured that she might as well make something up to boast her master Murong a bit and scare Shaolin at the same time. Suddenly, Yoju cut in. Brother Chao just said a while ago that it was somebody disguised as a Shaolin master in order to cause trouble who injured this young miss. But this young miss said it was a young gentleman who injured her instead. Who's telling the truth here? There's also some people disguised as Shaolin monks as well, Aju immediately replied. I saw 2 monks who claimed they were from Shaolin, but they stole black dog from a family, killed it, and ate it. She knew she had made a mistake in her lies, so she immediately went off on a tangent and changed the subject. Knowing that she wasn't really telling the truth, Divine Dr. Sui couldn't make up his mind whether or not to try to entreat her. He looked over at Xuanju and Xuanan before turning towards Yoji and Yoju, and then finally turned his eyes towards Chao Feng and Aju. Divine Dr. Sui, Chao Feng spoke up. If you save this girl today, I, Chao Feng, would be forever indebted to you. Forever indebted to me? Divine Dr. Sui sneered. Do you actually plan on walking out of Jushan Mansion alive today? Dead or alive, it doesn't really matter. But this young girl's injuries had to be treated by you, Doctor. Why should I save her? Divine Dr. Sui casually asked. Save one life, 7 steps closer to paradise. Divine Dr. Sui is a respected member of the martial world, and surely could not bear to let an innocent girl like her die needlessly. If anyone else asked me, I would treat this girl. But if you asked me, then I wouldn't. Qiao Feng's face immediately stiffened as he sincerely declared, The heroes are gathered today at Jushan Mansion to discuss how to get me. I know that. Ayo, Aju cut in. Master Qiao, if that's the case, then you shouldn't have taken such a risk for me. I thought that since everyone here is a real man and knows the difference between right and wrong, Qiao Feng continued, the person you want to kill is me, and me alone. This young girl has nothing to do with this. Divine Dr. Sui would actually move his hatred of me onto this young Miss Wan. How could that be right? True. True. You're heroes. You should be saving this little girl because she has nothing to do with him. Divine Dr. Sui had no comeback for what he had said. Only after a long pause did he finally say, Whether or not to treat a person is my decision, and mine alone. Others can't force me to do it. Xiao Feng, with your terrible crimes, we were just talking about how to catch you, chop you into a million pieces so as to avenge your parents and master. But instead, you came walking in instead. That's better than anything we could have hoped for. Why don't you just end it yourself right here? He flicked his right hand a little. Everyone in the crowd gave a shout and unsheathed their weapons. Uh-oh. Shit's about to go down. The hall shimmered in the almost blinding reflected light of the weapons. There were countless amounts of sabers and daggers, axes and whips. This was followed by another loud cheer from above, as the ceiling was suddenly filled with people as well, guarding every piece of the room. Qiao Feng had been in plenty of huge battles and fights in his life, but he was usually leading the Beggars clan into battle, and hence usually had the numerical superiority over his foes. Never had he ever been trapped in such a predicament all by himself, not to mention there's a severely injured girl at his side. How exactly does he get out of this? He had no idea, and his heart began to pound. Wait, bro, you have no plan? You came here with no plan? There's like a million people after you. Remember your hippopotamus oath? Yeah, doctor. What's up with that? Aju was even more frightened as she began to cry. Master Qiao, just get out of here. Don't worry about me. They have no issues with me and wouldn't hurt me. That's right. These people are all good people. They would never harm her for no reason. It's probably best for me to get out of here as soon as possible, Xiao Feng thought. A real man should treat others' life like his own. Divine Dr. Sui hasn't promised to treat her yet. Her life is not saved yet. How could I be so afraid to die and leave her like this? Looking around, he could see that there was... He's gonna kill them all. She will tell him the right moves. Oh no, you're mistaking her for the other girl. She's not the one that knows all of the martial arts moves. No, that's Wang Yuyan. Yeah, she's Aju. She doesn't know a lot of martial arts, so she can't help him. Looking around, he could see that there were several famous martial arts masters present. Quite a number of them he knew personally, all of them possessing great skills. But with this, the blood in his veins began to warm up. So what if I died here? Real men should live joylessly and die fearlessly. He let out a hearty laugh. You all say that I am a Khitan and want to get rid of this stone from your shoes. Haha, am I a Han or am I a Khitan? Even I don't know. That's right, you are a mutt, a bastard. Only that even you yourself don't know what kind of a bastard you are. A thin and squeaky voice suddenly said from amidst the crowd. This was the same person who had made fun of the Beggars clan earlier. But since he just says a couple of words at a time, nobody knew who it was. Everyone looked to where the voice came from, but saw no lips moving. If you say that it came from a short person, there was no short person present either. Hearing those words, Qiao Feng quietly observed for a long time before nodding a bit and moving on. Turning around to divine Dr. Shui, if I was a Han, how could I forgive you for your insult today? If I really am a Khitan, the sworn enemy of everything that is of the great song, the first person I would kill would be you. So to avoid me killing one hero of the great song, and you saving one patriot of the great song, right? That's right, divine Dr. Sui replied. No matter what happens, you are going to kill me. I asked you to save this girl today and exchange one life for another. If you save her, I would never even touch your hair. In all my life, I have only listened to others beg, not threats. Divine Dr. Sui coldly sneered. A life for another. It is as fair of an exchange as you can get. It's not a threat. Aren't you the least bit ashamed? That squeaky voice suddenly said. You are going to become meat sauce under everyone's lives, and you are still talking about showing mercy and letting others live. You... Get the hell out of here! Qiao Feng suddenly screamed at the top of his lungs, causing the roof tiles to shake and the dust to come falling off of the ceiling bars. Everyone's ears were buzzing from the scream and their hearts pounding. A man stumbled out from the crowd as if he was drunk. He was wearing a green robe, and his face was deathly gray. Nobody recognized him. Ah! Master Tan suddenly shouted. That's Tan Qing, the soul-chasing Cain. That's right. He's overflowing evil. Duan Yanqing's disciple. I think we stop now, guys. I think we stop. And we're halfway through. All right. Ugh. I hope you guys liked that. That was a pretty good chapter. All right. Next one is probably gonna be an exciting one. So how is he gonna escape from these guys? Okay, there's like a million dudes. What's he gonna do? How's he gonna do it? Hold on, let me get a drink. Yeah, should be some action next week. Good story so far. I'm glad you like it, Phoenix. All right. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Wow. I was about to pour wine into my water cup. Wow, that would have been a disaster. All right. Ooh. All right, guys. Cheers. All right. Tune in next time for the fight. It's going to probably be a fight next time. Xiao Feng was super brave to go in there like that. True. All right, guys. I will see you next time. Okay. It was super exciting next time. Thanks for joining. I love you. And I'll see you next week. Bye.